The last domain of development that we have to explore is sensory and perceptual development. Sensory and perceptual development refers to the development of your sensory processes and your perceptual ability. It starts in the prenatal period just after 2 months of conception, and just time pe face, foreheads, eyelids, and the features of a human are distinguishable of the fetus, and they attain maturity in 7 to 9 months. This time the organ system starts functioning properly. At the time of birth, an infant's hand, feet, and cerebral cortex, that is part of the brain, are not mature, but they start progressing towards maturation as a result of growth. Sensory development से start लेते हैं. Sensation occurs when the information about stimuli interact with the sense organs to reach the related areas of brain through sensory nerves. यहाँ पे अगर मैं quickly आपको revise करवा दूँ तो you must know that stimuli is anything in the that is in the environment that produces a reaction or that has an effect on your sensory organs. आपकी जो sense organs हैं इनके अंदर आपकी sensory nerves मौजूद होती हैं जो कि different neurons को लेके जाती हैं. They take the message from your sensory organs to your to the related areas of your brain. ठीक है, and वहाँ पे it gets interpreted. Sensation का काम यहाँ तक होता है, and we have general 5 senses. Sense of smell, sense of taste, sense of touch, sense of sight, and sense of hearing. The growth and maturation of sense organs occur under the physical development की. जिस टाइम पे body grow करती है, body develop होती है आपकी physically, उसी टाइम पे आपके sense organs साथ साथ develop होते हैं और mature out होते हैं. अब इसको हम डिवाइड करते हैं. आगे हम जनरली स्टार्ट करेंगे सेंसेशन ऑफ प्रेशर से. वी आर जस्ट गोइंग टू एग्जामिन व्हाट काइंड ऑफ सेंसेशंस डज अ चाइल्ड एज एन इन्फेंट हैज, और वो किस तरीके से डेवलप होके मैच्योरिटी अटेन करते हैं. Sensation of pressure, generally the child has it first in the mouth and then in the whole body, and afterwards reacts to stimuli affecting nose, आई, एयर एंड टंग. अब इन चीज़ों को जिस टाइम आप पढ़ेंगे, जिस टाइम हम बात कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट फिजिकल ग्रोथ, कि आपकी सेंसरी प्रोसेस जो है दे मैच्योर आउट अकॉर्डिंग टू द डेवलपमेंट दैट अकर्स इन फिजिकल ड्यू टू फिजिकल ग्रोथ, यानी कि it goes hand in hand with the physical development. तो जिस टाइम पे physical development की बात करेंगे, आपने अपने mind में proximo-distal और cephalocaudal development लेके आनी है, and keeping that in mind, आपने इस तरीके से ही देखना है कि according to those principles of development, आपकी बॉडी उस सेंस डेवलप होगी, तो उसी तरीके से आपके सेंस ऑर्गन्स भी मैच्योर आउट होंगे. तो अगर आप उसको माइंड में लाएं तो द सेंसेशन टू प्रेशर फर्स्ट इन द माउथ एंड यानी कि हेड रीजन, and then the whole body, and afterwards reacts to stimuli affecting specific फिर बाद में होते हैं towards the nose, eye, ear and tongue. The child cannot differentiate among different stimuli unless the cerebrum is mature. The neonate reacts to stimulus of touch when their lips are touched and they show a sucking movement of the lips, यानी कि उनका reflexive action होता है वो, because they sense the pressure on their lips, तो उनको एक जो उनका reflex action है वो kick in करता है and they show a sucking movement. The sensation of pain, generally समझा ये जाता था कि infants they do not have a sensation of pain, लेकिन during the circumcision उस time पे उनके levels of cortisol जो कि एक stress hormone है वो increased थे in a study, and because of which it showed that an infant experiences relative stress during the whole process, जिसकी वजह से फिर local anesthesia administer करना start किया गया for the process so that the infant does not go through pain. Sensation of taste, it develops even before the birth of an infant, और 2 दिन का जो एक infant होता है, जो एक बच्चा होता है, he or she shows unpleasant facial expressions on taking any sort of a sour mixture, और जो sour या salty चीजें उसका taste जो develop होता है वो at the age of 4 months बच्चा develop कर जाता है. Moving on to perceptual development. Now, perception is the intention of what is sensed and is designed for action through associated nerves, related muscles, and related muscles for certain behavior as reaction to a stimulus. हमने previously देखा है कि sensation जो है वो stimulus को sense करना और उसको brain तक लेके जाना through sensory nerves. ठीक है? Perception is generally the intention of what is sensed, यानी कि जिस time आप interpret कर लेते हैं कि सेंस आपने क्या किया है, and is designed for action through the associative nerves. जिस टाइम इंटरप्रेट कर लिया आपने, सेंस कर लिया कि what is and उसके बाद आप उसका देखते हैं कि relative outcome क्या होना चाहिए, what kind of action is supposed to be taken, and the associative nerves take the message from the perceptual from the areas of brain perception के बाद that this particular action is to be taken against this particular stimulus. You have studied all these in separate chapters in your first year book. According to Gibson's ecological view, perception brings us into contact with the environment to interact and adapt to it. अब जिस तरह हमने सेंसरी डेवलपमेंट की बात की थी कि इट इज़ अ प्रोग्रेसिव चेंज अंडर फिजिकल डेवलपमेंट, हम परसेप्चुअल कैपेबिलिटीज को जब देखते हैं तो द कैपेबिलिटीज आर डेवलप्ड अंडर कॉग्निटिव डेवलपमेंट. Now, visual perception generally, William James had the notion that the infants, the neonates, they have a very vague and meaningless kind of a perception. It was proved wrong by Slater in 2001 when the child of 4 to 5 months took interest in seeing the real face instead of a blank form on a disc. Visual acuity accordingly record की गई थी 20 out of 400 to 800. एंड यानी कि बहुत कम उनकी विजुअल एक्टिविटी थी, which is 20 to 30 folds less than a normal adult, जिसकी 20 out of 20 होती है. Now 20 by 100 होती है 6 months में, एंड जिस टाइम पे एक बच्चा 1 साल का होता है उस टाइम नॉर्मल एडल्ट्स विजुअल एक्टिविटी जो होती है 20 by 20 वो अचीव कर चुका होता है. Now this is because of the maturation of the sensory organ as well. Color perception, according to Adams, neonates can distinguish between red and green at the birth time. The infants of age 2 months have red, blue, and green cone cells in their eye cells. Cone cells are the receptive cells of your eye present in the retinal area, and यहाँ पे they are responsible for colored vision. In the age of 3 months, infants start chasing a bright illumination of a moving object. अब जो visual perceptibility है of an infant of aging 1 to 2 months is not instinctive and inborn. लेकिन maturation की वजह से जो sense organs में maturation आती है उसकी वजह से वो eventually develop होती है stage by stage. It is not something that babies are born with. Which visual perceptibility it develops as a result of maturation. Auditory perception, the infants just after birth starts hearing through their auditory sensory threshold is higher than the adults. यानी कि जो adults हैं they have a lower threshold, जल्दी achieve हो जाता है वो threshold, उनको ज़्यादा आराम से सुनाई देता है, कम आवाज़ भी सुनाई दे देती है. Infants they have a higher threshold, यानी कि उनको आवाज़ मुश्किल से आएगी. उनको एक हाई थ्रेशोल्ड चाहिए उनका थ्रेशोल्ड अचीव होने के लिए, लाइक हाई द फ्रीक्वेंसी चाहिए टू अचीव, सॉरी नॉट थ्रेशोल्ड. The infants in the age of 2 to 7 months are able to perceive the location of sound and they turn their head towards the location of sound. यानी कि जिस साइड से उनको आवाज आ रही होगी वो उस साइड पे अपना सर टर्न करते हैं. And the faster speed in sucking of milk on hearing their mother's voice as compared to a stranger's voice shows their discriminatory sensory perceptibility. Last we have smell related to perceptual development, smell and sensory. यानी कि जो आपकी odd smells होती हैं और जो pleasant odors होती हैं, the child, the neonate, the newly born child can differentiate between them. They show unpleasant facial expressions towards odd smells and pleasing fragrances को बहुत आराम से वो attend करते हैं. And the neonate, yeah, common observation that he identifies the mother through their distinct smell. And this is everything that is related to the development of sensory and perceptual processes. And during this whole discussion you must have understood कि एक बच्चा जो है वो किस तरह से stage by stage अपनी sensory process को develop करता है, उनमें maturation लेके आती है stage by stage through physical growth, और perceptual development में किस तरह से capabilities जो हैं वो progressively enhance होती हैं under the cognitive development.